Okie dokie, guys and girls. It is another fresh trade talk session with Matt Shaw. Thanks for coming on today. This will be recorded, so you will get this posted into the group later on Friday. Now, okay, so a few things going on. Now, a bit of strengthening of the dollar that we've seen across the board. I did put the trade out dollar yen. We shorted that. This is the only trade that's down at the moment. We've got a strong dollar CAD. Some of you may have already cashed out of that. Dow is going in the right direction, and the recent gold one is there or thereabouts. I think now we're going to bottom. I'm going to go into the reason of the gold trade in a moment, but the dollar yen is the one that well, it's just peaked a little bit higher, 20-30 pips higher than when we got in. No big deal. We're well over 100 pips away from the stop loss, 115, 18 pips away from the stop loss. So I'm happy with that. I don't see much more trajectory higher for dollar yen in the coming weeks. This could break out up to here. It could. That's where our stop loss is. The recent highs, most recent highs going back to earlier in the summer. But for me personally, we have seen lower highs since the breakdown, and we are now on the cusp. And for me, when I got that sort of 109 level here, just sort of that line going across, this seemed to be a triple top, and we could break out of it to the upside. But I did see, this tick down here, this red candle. Could have waited for a little bit more confirmation, but I do think we're there or thereabouts. It might even be worth a re-entry of this in a few days' time, but we'll play it by ear. We've got some other good trades backing it up, so I'm not too bothered. And again, as you should have your risk low anyway for these trades. All right, but I'm going to go into, I'm going to look into gold at the moment. Let's take a look at gold. XE, we're going to come onto the Dow as well. We're going to check that one out. We're in a right cusp here. We have seen again for gold. This is why I'm bearish on gold and personally shorted this a few times over the past few months. Again, lower highs. We did peak back above before we came off. Again, earlier this week, we picked up to sort of that 15-20 line, didn't we? So for me, the breakdown of this median line here, and again, if I get a fib on this, do you remember, guys, we were looking at the 28 level on the fib retracement. So let me just get that back on here. I'm going to get a retracement on here right from the low. Did I take it from that one? I think I did. We'll go all the way up, change the background. And we have broke that 23 line. So 28, I said, sorry guys, I'm getting muddled up with 23 and 38. But that 23.6 line there, here is now broken officially. And it broke yesterday properly below 1488, 1480, and it came off very quick. I actually personally had a funeral yesterday. My mind was elsewhere. A cousin of mine, unfortunately, but that was that happens, guys. Okay, sometimes it can get away from you. I would like to have got in on that yesterday and been, on a nice profit today, 200 pips, 300 pips of profit on that. But never mind. But I do think we're gonna see some kind of support here at these levels. We had a big thrust up through the 38 line, and we nestle nicely on this line here. So I think we're going to see a little bit of support personally before we head back higher, because I don't think the dollar strength is going to hold, and that's my logic. That's my logic here. If that breaks, then yes, I'm going to go short down to the 50. We're going to go short and ride this down to 14.10, 14.15, down to the 50% line. But I'm confident to preempt this slightly. Okay, we're slightly advanced in this group, and I'm not looking for confirmation of more breaks. We can add to that if we need, but I'm confident here we're going to find a bottom and head back higher. That's what I'm confident of. One moment. Yeah, that's what I'm liking there. So dollar dollar CAD is looking strong, however. We've got dollar CAD looking quite strong, even though I think dollar's going to run out of momentum. Not around the board against the Canadian dollar. I think it's going to remain fairly strong. Okay, our target is in sight. It's not as if we're just getting into that trade. It's doing well. We're just doing what we wanted to do, and I think we're gonna top out here shortly into next week. This level here, it could even make a lower high here and sail back off. But we don't care. We just want to get that level out of it. Our take profit is indeed 132.80. 132.80 would be perfect. Remember, it was above 135 end of May. Up here 135.50, so still, you know, 270 pips away from that level, and we've never really got back since this sell-off here. We've only made up about 50% of the retracement. I will do a fib on that as well. Let's do a fib retracement on that. Take it right from the high here down to the low early July. Let's do a black. And what have we got? So we got back up to the 61.8 line. Look at that, perfect resistance there, as we've seen. So our target is not even the 50% line. So I think that is a target now, especially if it breaks 38.2 later today into next week, and then the 50 is the next target, and we're just below that. We're a few pips below that 50% fib line. Just how many? Let's just check. We're about 132.78 to one. You know, we're about 13-14 pips below that. So yeah, say 10-15 pips below. That's a decent enough target, and I'm happy just getting out of that and hitting our strike price and getting out. Gold slipping back slightly. I think we're gonna, you know, we're needing this stop loss into the 40s before this could go down into the mid to low 50s even. So let's just keep an eye on it. Dollars, you know, dollar is picking up a little bit more, which is helping our CAD trade because we're evenly poised here. We're long the market for one, so that's doing a nice trail of its own. It's breaking through new highs and it's doing its thing. All right. We've only got 168 pips to go there. Now we're a long dollar against the CAD, but we're sort of short dollar here in terms of short dollar against the yen. Now the yen is fairly strong in itself, so it's not as if we're just relying solely on dollar weakness, but with dollar coming back as well would help our gold trade. Now if dollar strengthens, okay, this could in fact correlate with the markets as it has been doing. All right, here and help this trade and also help our dollar CAD trade. So in some respects, we're fairly hedged. We're not dollar heavy, neither are we $2 light here. Okay, we're not betting too much against the dollar either. So it's a nice balance of trades we have open. So now dollar yen, I think there's limited upside. So I'm more than happy with our stop loss, you know, over 110, 1nearly 115 pips above current price. And I'm confident that gold has had its flush out over the last 24 hours. It's a shame we didn't sell that, obviously. Some of you may have held the previous sell in there that we had before, which would have hit our target of 1462. Okay, remember when some of you got in on that, some of you got in late and you raised to take the stop loss level and you've ridden that price down. I think some of you have actually, profited from that short on gold that was sent out into the group last week. So I hope you have. Boy, have you I hope you have. I really do. Excuse me. I'm going to go on to cable now. I'm going to switch accounts there, guys, at a moment. Okay, I'm going to go on to my other account here. I've got TTYL on, 30 minutes, yeah, that's fine. Let's go on to the daily chart here, and it has bust through and holding above the marker trend line here, the dollar yen. So that's good, okay. in terms of its strength, but not good for our trade. But look at this candle here. It's not that strong. Okay, this candle here is not strong. Okay, I'm not convinced by this today. It's up and it's just holding halfway below here. If it dips back below this line, we're definitely going lower into this wedge. And I do think it is an ascending wedge, so it definitely has to get above it and stay above. And if it doesn't get above and remain above an ascending wedge, prices are rising into the wedge. Okay, that's how we determine it's an ascending wedge. If it cannot get above and hold above, then the momentum will quickly be seen to the downside on that. Let's look at the 4-hour movement here. 4-hour movement clearly shows that we've got DeMarco resistance there, trend resistance at that 109.46 level, 109.47 level, and again could see that target down to DeMarco support, horizontal line support there, 108.80. All right, that is what I hope is going to happen, but let's see. All right, we may get some more confirmation later today, early tomorrow as well. Let's check out pound yen. It's one I want to look at, one that I'm eyeing up for a trade shortly, guys. Okay, I'm going to go on daily for this. I might use a 4-hour for the entry, but I'm assessing the daily. This has gone into a tiny wedge, and it's coiling beautifully at these medium-term highs, short-term highs, I should say, from a nice rally up. Beautiful 1,000-pip rally up early October, mid-October. And now we've consolidated at the highs. Now, the more this coils, the more this consolidates and builds energy at these levels, okay, the bigger the breakout will be once it finally comes. Now, this could be another week, it could be another 2 weeks. It might happen early next week in the next 2 sessions or so. But one way or another, it's not got many more days left before it needs to make up its mind. Now, this could easily get back below 139 and break out above 140.60 for confirmation to the upside. So 140.60, I'm sort of holding to the upside, 138.90 to the downside. Now, whatever break we get here, above or below, we will see big movements. We've got a lot of ground to cover to the downside. A lot of ground. There's nothing there. A few moving averages, yes, we have got that, but that's it. We've got, what have we got? We've got the 18, 55, 110 moving average at 136.18 and 136.45. They will be the targets to the downside if this line is broken. Okay, these will be the targets. 400 pip targets, all right, and again to the upside, maybe 400 pips to the upside. Let's just zoom out to see what potential it could have to the upside. Yeah, you're talking 400-500 because you're looking at this range to the left up here, right there. So let's just draw a line and see where potentially we could get 145 easy. That's where it broke in May. Again, May, crucial time for the markets actually. Big time, big pre-summer volatile period. That selling may go away, you know, guys, the old adage, it does come to pass when May comes around. So this movement here, again, it's got legs to the upside upon a breakout up to here, and it's got legs to the downside either way. So it's crescendoing perfectly at 140. Again, a psychological level there, rounded level at 140. It's been a big median line, hasn't it? 140 as well, just like sort of 130 has for cable. You see, excuse me, the 140 line there. It's seen a lot of action. It's seen some big moves, big bounces from this level and big bounces down below it, back above it, massive drop below it, and now we've just got back to it after, you know, nearly 6 months below it. Well, 6 months below it, and now we've got back to this line. Is it a breakout to the upside or another harsh sell-off? probably coincide into Christmas and with more Brexit news and things like that, more data to suggest where we go in medium term for interest rates, etc. So it'll probably be more onus and it'll get more stacked, the pressure into this coiled section here into the latter part of 2019. And then we'll probably see this big breakout where we could catch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 pips into early new year. So that'll be one to wait for, won't it? I'm going to leave it there, guys, and not a big one today. I'm just going to finish off with the Dow, actually. I do want to cover the Dow. We have got a trade on the Dow after all. I do think we're going to see some new highs there, potentially very, very soon. Let's go on a weekly, and you can see the weekly since 2013 where we are, and we are practically this week. We've made new highs. This will be a close of new highs this week. So there'll be, if this holds into tonight's session, which I'm sure it will, stranger things have happened though, we're probably at our target next week, just below 27.9 there. Was it 27.868? So yeah, all right, guys. But from there, 28,000 we'll be looking at, and that will be a big, big psychological level. Again, will coincide into Christmas time, and anything can happen from there. We've seen it in 2015, late, we've seen wobbles late 2016 after the election, although they did then come back. 2015, early 2016, 2008, obviously, and this will be the precipice for large moves and the barometer for big directional moves and shifts into next year. The next 2 months could dictate the next 12 months in terms of price action for these indices. For the pound pairs, let's look at pound Kiwi. Just want to talking about the pound. I do want to check that out again. Coiling lovely. Again, a massive move up since July from 183 up to 203. It's 2,000 pips. It's moved. Massive moves. Massive moves. So let's see where this can go. Again, big moves, potential to the downside. And if we zoom out on a weekly, we can see that potentially to the upside again could be huge, because look where we were and look where we are. Massive. Even just getting back to that point, 2178, we're at 202. Again, 1,500 pips away, and up to the ultimate highs there in April 2015, 246, 2.46, we're over 2,500 pips below that. So this could be huge moves to the upside. So many pounds to be made here for pound Kiwi. Again, potentially to the downside as well, 2,000-3,000 pips to the downside. 170, 160, that's where we flatlined there. Mid to late October. Well, twice, double bottom there, wasn't it? Head and shoulders, double bottom, and it's formed from there. Again, another inverted head and shoulders we've seen. We saw head and shoulders there at this point as well, like a rocket, isn't it? It's ready to take off, and we sort of see an inverted head and shoulders here. We've got that W, and there, that's where we are right now. If we can break this, it's going to be huge moves. If we fail, again, big moves to the downside. Again, these are energetic moves in terms of we wait for the energy to compile, and then we see the release button. Yes, we trade in between these for smaller gains, but some of these trades are trades that may only come around a couple of times a year, that we want to take advantage of them. And if we can get a couple of pairs to do that on and make many hundreds of pips per one, then it's a lovely Christmas bonus, isn't it? Whether or not it comes post-Christmas or not, it's still a bonus. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you've had a quick, nice session there, just 20 minutes or so. Well worth it. I'll see you online very soon next week. Have a fantastic weekend. Take care. Thank you very much.